go blind.
Hi everyone, and hello to my German people here. I'm Enes, the founder of Finance Blog for You. I'm a Ghanaian living in the United Kingdom who has previously lived in Germany. On this channel, we talk about finance-related topics. So we talk about stuff like school applications as well on this channel. And in today's episode, I have a very special guest who is called Michael. So, Michael and I go far back as 2019. So, I've known him for quite some time. And we always refer to him as Champion President. So, if you hear me calling him Champion President, then you should know that, it just comes by default. So before we begin, I want to say a very big thank you for honoring our invitation. When I had the idea of setting up this channel to help other people, I contacted Michael, and it was very much. Um, I was very elated that he came on board. He was supporting the idea to help people and make an impact that matters. So, on that note, I will say a very big thank you to Michael. Thank you very much. Could you please introduce yourself a bit, Michael?
And yes, thank you very much for inviting me on your platform. And it's a good job that you're doing to help people, colleagues, other international students back home in Ghana and even across other countries to, get to know, the culture. Germany is all we talk about Germany, right? The culture in
Yeah,
Germany and how they can go about those who want to apply, prospective applicants could go about applying to schools in Germany, how they could further their education, the cultural shocks, um, and many more. So for me, it's an honor, and for me, and also something that I'm excited about, and I'm excited about today's discussion. Um, so, like you rightly said, I'm Michael, currently a PhD candidate, and I come from Ghana, and I that's where I had my basic education, my senior high education, and also my bachelor degree before I moved to Germany somewhere in 2018 to start with my master's.
interesting. Nice. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, so back in Ghana, so I went to a crack academy. From a crack academy, I went to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology,
Oh,
where I
wow. That's
pursued
impressive.
urban planning. But then I think the title of the program was in BSc in Human Settlement Planning, which is
Yeah.
spatial planning or urban planning.
Hmm.
And then afterwards, after national service, I decided to move to Germany. Or I came over to Germany to read my master's in environmental management at the Christian Albrecht University of
Oh,
Kiel.
wow. That's
And
very interesting.
yes, and at the moment, I'm a PhD candidate with the Kuhn Logistics University in Hamburg, and also a research, associate at the Center of Sustainable Logistics and Supply Chain at the same university. So this is something small about myself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's very
Okay.
impressive.
So once I arrived in Germany,
Hmm.
I think few weeks, I started working. Right.
Oh,
So in
that's
terms of
okay.
financing, one major means of financing in Germany for we the international students is
Yeah.
working.
Okay.
Right. It's doing
Yeah.
student jobs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
student jobs. Working in the factory, restaurants,
It's
yeah, or doing
restaurants, warehouse, cleaning. We
yeah,
had to do so many different jobs.
exactly.
I plan to, talk about that aspect of my life and how I transitioned from doing menial job to like corporate job and what it
Yes,
entails, so that if anybody is going through that, you should believe there is light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you are doing cleaning, warehouse, and
yes,
you are being so hard on yourself that this is not the abroad or the arbitrary, as my Ghana people
mm,
will say, that I envision. They
yeah,
thought, everything is rosy, everything is all nice, you go, you party, you enjoy.
yeah,
People have different perspective in terms of
Yes.
coming to abroad.
Yes.
But
Yes.
sometimes they don't know the nitty gritty or what you
Yes.
need to go through. Do you get it?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
believe sometimes we need to let them know what it entails, so that
Yeah.
if you are making a move and you know what is ahead of you, at least you are a bit prepared and you psych
Yes.
yourself for such a move. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
definitely. I like that point, that you touch
Yes.
on
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Yes, yes. So I mean, and that is one of the major means, right? Because of course you would have your money in your block account, but then
yeah,
you wouldn't love to just go in every month and then just go take money from that and use to foot your
of
bills, right?
course,
So
of
you
course.
need to work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the only jobs you could do are these. I mean, the jobs that you've already mentioned, right? We here in Germany
The
call them
easiest ones.
the
Yeah.
colleague jobs,
The
right?
colleague jobs. Thank you.
You need to do them, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the German people can relate to colleague. Colleague.
the
Yeah,
Germans, yeah, people. I mean, they can relate to that, right? So and it really really I mean it helped me, and I think it also
yeah.
helped people, other international students here, because
Of
at the end
course,
of the
of
month
course.
you're able to foot your bills. You don't go to your family, your friend, or even if you have
No.
money in your block account, you don't touch it,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it was really life saving. Of
Of
course,
course.
sometimes the environment could be a bit hostile, because I remember, and I'm going to share my experience. So maybe I will just start on. So one major means of finance in terms of the education is free, but your
Mm-hmm.
living
Yeah.
expenses, one major means of getting money to foot your bills was doing the jobs that we've already mentioned, right? So then, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what I lived on till uh, I had my PhD.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
I
so
understand. Yeah.
I remember getting here. I told you I started work like few weeks, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in a warehouse, right? In a
Yeah, I
warehouse,
also work there. I also work
yeah.
there. We don't want to mention the name, but
You
yeah,
know what
it's
was
a
doing it?
warehouse.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
warehouse,
I
right?
also work there. Yeah.
So, so we went there, and the thing is that I mean, you need to get the money, right? But sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
environment could be a bit hostile because you are in a country where you can't even speak the language, the German language. You can't speak it, and then you go to the warehouse, and then the people there are speaking to you in this language, and the people there are a bit cold, and I mean the atmosphere is not so nice. But
It's terrible. Yeah.
you are in a foreign land, you need to
Mm-hmm.
survive, you need to get money to foot your bills, and so you should do it. And
Yeah.
for me, I did that. I
Mm-hmm.
did that till I had some other jobs to do, till I used that to doing the course of my masters to
Very important.
survive. So that was what I used. That was the major means or source of funding for me.
Of
No
your
money from my
funding. No.
parents, no money from my brother, no money from my
Yeah.
auntie. I lived on from these jobs, right? I had money
Yeah.
from them,
Yeah.
and then I used them to pay my expenses. Luckily enough, education was free, so that
Oh yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. And yeah, for mentioning that, because I also did all sorts of jobs when I was in Germany, because you need to survive. You are in a
yes.
situation where your people back home, I mean, the Ghanaians and Africans, sometimes it's not just you. Even though you're a student, they don't care because
No,
they
yeah.
believe you are in the abroad. So
Mm,
you are forced to even do extra shifts so that you'll be able to
mm,
send some money to your relative, your
yeah.
friends. People
Mm-hmm.
will just be billing the buggers. As my Ghanaian people say it, people who are in abroad, we call them buggers. They'll be billing us, and it's quite a challenging situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally understand what you are talking about, and I've been through it, so I really understand it.
Mm,
Okay, so thank you very much for touching on that. So we can now move to the next topic, which will be about your arrival and adaptation in a foreign country where English is not the official language. So, in terms of that, how was your experience? And I mean, when you arrived in Germany, and then was there any like cultural shocks in terms of social life and then academically? And then can you highlight one thing that really shocked you when you got to Germany?
okay. So, yeah. So I mean, in terms of adaptation, right? So for me,
Yeah,
so before coming here, my brother was like, Mike, you need to learn some German. At that time in Ghana, I thought this guy was joking, right? But he was here, so he
yeah,
knew the importance of the language, right? So
of course.
yeah, but I never had a time to learn the German, so I arrived
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Germany knowing nothing, right? Nothing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was very lucky in terms of adaptation because when I arrived at the airport, okay,
hmm
my brother was already in Hamburg, and he met me at the Hamburg airport
Oh, okay.
and took me from the airport home.
hmm
You understand? If
Yeah.
I hear the stories of others where they have to arrive, they don't even know where their university is. One guy told me he had to sleep at the train station for like 3 days
Oh my God. Wow.
in Dortmund.
That's hard.
He didn't know
Wow.
anybody, right? So the adaptation, the shocks, and everything, it's really important. That's why sometimes when you're coming here, you also need to do some background check, get to know someone in
Yeah.
the region that you're going to, and then
Very
link out,
important.
right? Yeah, yeah. They say it's 3 days for me. So from in my case, my brother was here, so then he took me home. So I felt comfortable. So
Yeah.
in that situation or at that instance, I was okay. I was like, okay, I thank God for this. I thank God that I was here, I thank God for that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and yeah, because for him, when he arrived, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
no, 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 no. When I arrived, it was around winter, right?
Oh
I
wow.
got to, but then when I was walking on the streets, I mean, in Ghana, the people there in Ghana are really lively, right? And
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but I think it was winter and everyone was really serious, right? And people were just moving fast and just minding their business. No one
Yeah.
is smiling. And I was like, okay, these people are a bit cold, right? I mean,
Yeah. Let me just chip in there, not to shade anyone, but I remembered one of the first expressions I heard when I moved to Germany was that, I mean, it was my uncle who told me. He said, Germans are like their weather. It can literally be raining the next moment. The sun is shining, so you can't really predict them, you know?
yeah, yes,
So yeah.
yeah. So that was something I was like, okay, wow, okay. Then, then my brother and I, we got to the room. My mother was like, okay, we'll be going out, right? Then he was like, Michael, we have just 2 minutes to catch the bus,
hmm
And we got on and he was running. I was like, okay, what? In Ghana, we are used to, you go and the trotter will come and then you just
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it and
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you old people are running, how much more you
then
youngsters? Yeah,
the punctuality, the exactness, the
of course,
time,
of course. Yeah,
and if you are just 1 minute late, the bus is not
different
going to
is
wait
gone.
for you. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow. And the bus says, okay, to arrive in 10 minutes.
hmm
That time, and the bus come, like, okay, 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 okay. So that
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm from one country to another country, and I'm like, okay, really, these people really respect time, and they don't joke with their
hmm
time.
Yeah.
That was another culture shock in my very first few days in Germany, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Time, and then the people really not being a bit cold because it was getting to winter.
Yeah.
It got to a time. I mean, it took some time for me to understand. Okay, during winter, the people are
Yeah. They are like the weather.
during the summer. They are all. I mean, with
Yeah. A bit bubbly and
they're
yeah.
lively. They are happy, and then, so that was a shock because people were really serious, and everyone was just going straight to take the train, and no one was smiling. And so for me, that was a cultural shock. And
Yeah. Oh, okay.
one other thing also has to do with the language, right? And I remember, so after from Hamburg, I came to Kiel, and I had to pay something, and I couldn't figure it out, um, and I didn't know what I don't know how to approach the people. So I approached one person. I'm like, okay, can you please help me? I'm like, I can't speak English, and so the person said it in German, right?
Yeah.
That he doesn't understand what I'm saying. I was like, okay, wow, what my mother told me.
It can lie down its English expression. Yeah.
Ja, ich verstehe nicht.
Spanish, yeah.
Yeah, Spanish English version. I was like, okay. At that time, I also didn't understand the
Of course.
German he was saying, right? I just needed help,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that was also like, I mean, one thing you needing help and you not getting it because of language.
Language
I
barrier.
mean,
Yeah.
barrier. So that was also for me in my very few first days
Yeah.
was also some kind of, I mean, of a shock for me. My first
Okay.
days.
Yeah, I can understand because let me just drop some golden nuggets here. For me, I had the opportunity of learning A1 Deutsch because I was
Mm,
advised that it will really help me if I know
okay,
basic German before I
okay,
come to Germany. So
okay.
I went to a German school. I did A1.1 and A1.2. And
Oh,
then
really?
after that, yeah, that was when I moved to Germany.
Mm.
But even with
That
that,
was
I
that was
remember
really
an
good. I mean,
experience.
yes.
Yeah, I remember one experience where, I got somewhere. I thought I knew German because in class, everything was all right. And then this guy was
Okay.
speaking so fast.
That's
Now,
okay.
yeah, he was speaking so fast. So, I mean, but at least I think it's good to know a bit of Deutsch if your finances and time will permit you. That will help. Yeah. So when this guy
Mm,
was speaking so fast, I was like, können Sie langsam sprechen bitte? And
okay.
this phrase, I mean, it was stuck with me because any place I go, sometimes when it's so fast, I'm not able to understand because in A1, what you
I
learn
mean,
is
everyone level,
like
yeah, it's
words,
understandable, right?
like
Yeah. I
one, two,
mean,
three,
yeah.
eins, twice, drei, the kind of stuff,
Yeah,
not
of course, yeah.
advanced Deutsch.
Yeah.
So your
That one
head will
is
just be
basic
run.
Deutsch, yeah.
Yeah, so I can really relate to that in terms of language. It was a big struggle. And when it comes to getting a job, even the menial job, sometimes it's a big limitation. I mean, the people who can speak Deutsch, they have an upper hand over you just because they can speak Deutsch. So they could get a more flexible job, a less, I mean, fiscally demanding job. Whereas if you don't know Deutsch, then it's like whatever you get, you just go. They will give you all those kind of jobs
Yes,
where
yes,
you go
yeah,
to work and the next day you are not able to wake up.
yes.
So,
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
there's that. So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
have the
So
opportunity to learn the language, I mean, now we have YouTube, we have so many medium like Lendigo or whatever they call it that you
the
can
Duolingo,
improve.
Duolingo, then yeah, I mean, there are a lot of
Duolingo, something, yeah, language apps. I mean, there's so many out there that at least you can start learning on your own, even if you don't have the finances, and that could make your life a bit easier, I
it's
would say.
it's very important. I mean, you made mention of adaptation. If you want to
Yeah,
really adapt to the German system, learn the
language
language.
is very key.
This one is a must.
It's a must. Definitely.
You, you cannot negotiate. I mean,
No, no,
you
no, not
must
at
learn
all.
it for adaptation. So for
You must.
me, yes, in terms of adaptation, one thing that I also did, so I also invested a lot of time to learn the German. And
Hmm.
before I left Kiel to Hamburg, I had finished B2. But I realized how
That's impressive. Wow.
important. Yeah, I realized how important this thing is. And if you really want to adapt to the to Germany, or you want to stay here in Germany, you want to come to school here and enjoy life here, like you said, once you're able to speak the language, you are even able to find much better jobs as a
Of
student.
course. Definitely. I mean, I can testify to that. So for me, even after staying there for like 5 years, my Deutsch was not that good. But I would say I was blessed or lucky to have found an English speaking corporate job. And
No,
even though you work in English, I mean, you're
you
not
will
going
speak,
to
you will
live
speak.
at your workplace. You
Yes,
move out and then you hear Deutsch, you go to the
yeah,
supermarket, it's like you are lost.
yeah, lost, yes, yeah,
So regardless, you still need the language. As
yeah,
far
yeah,
as you
yeah.
want to live in Germany, long term, you need the language. It's
You
a
mean,
must.
let me
I
just check this. Let me just chip this
Yeah,
in before we move on. So, for instance,
yeah,
as the president, when I was the president of the Ghana Association of Student Employment, so we had a meeting where
yeah.
there was also, I mean, talk to all student association presidents, a
Okay.
meeting organized by the International Center,
Yeah.
and the people they invited, when the people they invited to come and talk to us came and they said, "Oh no, they are not going to speak in English. They feel
Wow.
comfortable speaking in German."
Speaking German. Oh my goodness.
So you see, so even in a section whereby even they are meeting
Yeah,
we and everybody, because we, I mean, as international students, they have to speak in their language, and
of course.
for someone to just come and explain about, okay, yeah, this is what, did you understand everything? I know, okay, then this is what the person said. That. But all the people the guests, the people they invite, so they were
Yeah,
speaking in German. So the German is important. One,
very
if you
important.
want to adapt the German,
It's
the German,
non-negotiable. Definitely
learn it. Yes,
agree.
yeah,
Because
you
let me
can.
just say one last thing. I mean about this language thing. Um, I mean throughout my years in Germany, I realized, especially if you call the foreign office, which is called Ausländer Beholder, if
Uh-huh.
you call them, the
Okay.
person at the other end of the phone might,
Mm-hmm.
the person is able to speak English, all right, but the
Mm-hmm.
person will pick up the phone and be like, hello, please, I don't understand Deutsch, can
Yeah.
we speak English? And will
Uh-huh.
reply you in English. I'm sorry, unfortunately my
My English is no good.
English is not good, let's speak Deutsch. Then the person will automatically switch to Deutsch.
Yes.
So
Yes.
language, I can,
Yeah.
emphasize it enough. Is
Yes.
very key and crucial.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. So I think, yeah, we can move to the next chapter briefly. I mean, the next part, and talk about your PhD, because you being a senior man and doing your PhD, I mean, it's not a small feat, to finish a master's, not to talk about moving to a PhD. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not everybody who is able to do that. So I can, you know, say that I'm really proud of you, and well done, kudos. So on that note, I'd like to ask my first question. So what was the motivation or the drive that made you, go a step further to pursue your PhD in Germany?
So for me, and maybe it's just, I mean, it's just me, right? But
Yeah,
whatever thing I do, I think about it way, way, way before, right? So the moment I started my masters, my
yeah.
target or plan was to do my PhD. So it was something I dreamt about the moment, the first day I came to um to Germany.
Okay.
So when I was in my masters, the target was to finish the masters and start my PhD. So I started researching about the PhD. I realized, okay, fine. Now to get a PhD position, okay, you also have to finish your masters with good grades.
Oh, okay. So that's like a requirement. Okay.
It's a requirement. Some universities
Yeah.
don't really care. So far as you are very good, or maybe
Yeah.
depending on the connections that you have with the person, the professor, or something like that, or even your
Okay.
supervisor would recommend you to. But excellence here in Germany is very key if you want to pursue your PhD, right? So doing the masters, like we said, working, schooling, working, schooling, you need to balance it well. So for me, my target was,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I still have to take my master's serious because for me, as part of my plan, I want to do my PhD after my master's. It was a
Yeah.
dream, something that I wanted to fulfill. So, cut long story short, so doing that master's, when I was about to finish, I was then applying to schools, right, or even writing to
Okay.
professors.
Yeah.
So for me, my motivation, like, let me just come back to the motivation. The motivation was a dream I had,
Okay.
and I wanted to get to the apex of. I mean, the PhD is not. I mean, of course, after the PhD, you could do your postdoc and then go do application. But
Yeah.
then the PhD
Oh
is kind
wow.
of like
That's
the
impressive.
creme,
Yeah.
the creme de la creme. So it was something I
Yeah.
wanted to do to get to that top of the educational ladder,
Okay.
and that was my motivation. And also, I think also maybe I took also inspiration from my brother because my brother was also doing his PhD at the University of Hamburg.
Oh wow.
So kind of my story is also sometimes also connected to
Your
my brother
brother.
because he was doing it. So I was like, okay, I also took inspiration. If he's doing it, I mean, I can also do it. And
Then you
it's
can
something I
do
want
it. Of course.
to
Yeah.
climb to that level of the education. So that motivated me. And whatever thing I was doing, my master's was geared towards that. So
Oh,
when I
okay.
was about to finish the master, I started contacting professors,
Yeah.
professors. Say, okay, I'm about to finish
That's
my
key.
master. This is
Okay.
what I'm interested in. Will you be able to help me out? You know.
Yeah.
And one thing, and then we already made mention of the German. It's very key here also. That's why
Okay.
the German thing is very important. So look, let me tell you something. So for contacting one professor at Technical University of Munich. So I spoke to this professor. The professor was super, I mean, super cool and then was super interested in what I wanted to do. He wanted to work with me. I said, Michael, but there's one thing left, funding.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about asking that. Thank you for touching on that.
And he was like, okay, fine. So he himself sent a link of, at that time, there was one institution that was financing researchers who want to do their research in areas pertaining to sustainability, circular economy, or what have you, right?
Yeah.
You can say, Michael, I want to do a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
Munich is Munich is really expensive. You need
Okay.
money because you cannot work and at the same time do the PhD. I mean, some people do it, right? So work and then, but funding is very important. So okay, send me the link. I went to the website. I realized, okay, fine. Before they'll be able to give you the scholarship, you need to write your proposal, everything in German,
Yeah.
and you need to have a B2 German certificate
Oh
if you are
wow.
in.
That's
Wow!
serious. I mean,
At that
that's
time,
fluent Deutsch.
I had at that time I was now doing my B1. I was
Oh
like,
wow.
wow. So that alone was a major disqualification. I mean, because you need to write the proposal and everything in
Mm-hmm.
German. You need to show that
Yep.
you have German B2 certificate, and then they'll
Yep.
call you for an interview, and everything is done in German. So you see, so if you cannot speak the language already, you have been cut off from some of these sources of funding. If you go to the KAAD,
Yep.
for
Yep. Yep.
instance, KAAD is a Catholic scholarship where if you want to do your research or PhD, you can also get some funding if you apply, but also requires
Okay.
B2 German certificates.
Okay.
So in terms of
Yeah.
funding, that's one major challenge that you would face as an international student, especially if your German is not good. Already you are being cut off. You are being cut
Okay.
off. So
Yeah.
when I thought I couldn't apply, in fact. So then it didn't work out. And then I was still searching because this is something I wanted to fulfill till I had my
Mm-hmm.
university. And lucky enough, at this point in time in the university, when I had it, it came with a scholarship. And because I also finished with a better grade, because the grading system, like I said, the grade excellence here is very key. I was able to be admitted for this PhD position,
Okay.
which came with a scholarship. So at that time, I was saved because then I didn't have to go and apply for an external source of funding, right? Of course, some people are also lucky because there are some foundations also that you could get scholarship with some money that
Mm-hmm.
maybe they might not request that you have German certificate, but it's only a handful.
Okay.
Majority they need the German certificate, or unless the university or the professor you contact has some sort of funding, and the professor
Okay.
says, "Okay, I have funding. I like you, I like your research. I will use my own source of funding to sponsor you." Or maybe there is a university source of funding, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
get that. If not,
Yep.
then you're going to external, then you would need the certificate. So in terms of funding, in terms of my motivation, this is what I have to say. Yes.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I mean, that's a lot of information to unpack. But I don't want to bore viewers with long-winded video where I think we might need maybe subsequent session to unpack all these things. But
Yes.
my last question would uh, do you have any advice for someone who is considering a PhD in Germany? If you have to give them just one advice, what will it be, Mr. Ex-President?
One advice I would say is recommendation.
Okay.
I mean, because before you get a PhD, I mean, you the recommendation is also very key. And a
Hmm.
recommendation letter, for example, from a professor is
Okay.
is 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 very, very important. Let's put aside academics. I mean, if you're able to get a strong recommendation letter, it can push you inside.
Okay.
Because it's really competitive, right? Because a lot of people are trying to apply
Yep.
to get a position, and so
Yep.
sometimes the
Yep. Yep.
recommendation was people would love to work with someone who they know that okay they could trust. And sometimes when you
Mhm.
have this recommendation from someone high in authority, then okay, then
Yep.
I can trust you, and then go. So recommendation is key, meaning that you need to have build some rapport with the professors that you are await when doing your
Okay.
masters, right? So that you
Yep.
could get a solid or strong recommendation letters or recommendation when you want to apply for a PhD, and also a strong statement of purpose why you want the
Yep.
PhD, and why you are fit for the position. It's also very, very, very important. It's as competitive as if you're applying for a job, right? So
Yeah.
this
I can
one recommendation
understand.
like
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
and a strong statement of purpose why you want to apply
Mhm.
for PhD, right? And then to some extent also a proposal, right? So a research proposal, what you want to do, why you want to do it, why is it important, what contribution you want to make. So you need to have all these things, all these, and I think these are the three most important things.
Okay.
And then the icing on the cake will be your degree, right? And then
Yep. Yep. Yep.
your degree that you had. But
Yeah,
strong,
very key because if you don't have strong grade, then don't worry about doing your PhD. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's really important because then a lot of people are applying and they use that to sieve through and
Of
get
course.
rid
Of course.
of
Makes
quite
sense.
a number.
Yeah. It's just like not having a strong bachelor's, but you want to do your master's. I mean, that's
Mm.
like
Yeah,
almost impossible, you know?
almost impossible,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah. That's
Germany,
almost
sometimes
impossible.
most of the schools they'll say they want up to, for instance, like the German grade of 3.0 or 2.5 or something like that, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so if your
yeah.
bachelor's is not up to that, means you are
You're out
automatically,
of the league, yeah.
yeah,
And if you want a free tuition, then this becomes even
yeah,
more important. Yeah.
yeah. So economic excellence. I mean, here I think in Germany they really, really. I mean, it's really important. But I mean, they take, I mean, serious consideration. I mean, in terms of your academic excellence,
Mhm.
right? And they
Yeah.
don't, I mean, joke with it. And so for me, I think that also helped me to get my PhD because I finished with an excellent grade, right? And so coupled with
Oh, wow, that's
the
nice. Well done on
the
that. I mean, it's not easy to come to Germany, going through the stress, combining it with a part-time job, and then having a good grade. So I think
yes.
you did a fantastic job, and well done on that.
Yeah,
Kudos.
I mean, so
Okay.
one tip is also that when people are doing their masters or something like that, of course they can work, but I mean, they need to balance things, right? So look at the
It's
academic
very
side,
key.
and it's very,
Yeah,
very
you need to have
important,
the
right?
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so Mr. Ex Presido, I mean, I can't stop calling you that because it's always been Presido, Presido, Presido. So,
Yes.
Presido, do you have any final thoughts or additional tips for those looking to pursue higher education in Germany, which could be a master's or a PhD in your case, if you want to, I mean, climb up the ladder? What are your final thoughts that you can leave us with?
I mean, the final thing I would like to say is
Yep,
for them to keep dreaming. I mean, and also work towards whatever thing they have in mind, right? So it's all
okay,
about hard work, right? Nothing
yep.
comes on a silver platter.
Mhm.
And you cannot just wake up and say, okay, I want to come to Germany to come and study. It should be a long term something, right? That's once you start, you go to school, you have to make sure, okay, fine, you are taking your courses program seriously, and then you could push, right? Those who have already finished, I mean, they should keep. I mean, trying. It's all about research, right? Read a lot. There are platforms, right? So if we have our mobile phones, so you could just go to Masters Portal, read about the university, look at their requirements, look at what you already have. Is there a match? If there is a match, for them, once you have provided all the documents, there is 80% or 90% chance that you'll be admitted, right? And also could also get in touch with already students here in Germany or studying to get some tips and what have you, right? But they should
Yeah,
keep the
very
fire burning. Yeah, they
information is
shouldn't.
very key. Yeah,
Information is very key. Yeah, information is very, 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 very important, right? Because then you get
yeah,
to know,
yeah,
okay, what you need to do to get here, right?
yeah.
And it also, I mean, takes away about 50% of hustling, right? All the
Yeah,
hassles
yeah,
you have
yeah.
to go through if you don't have information, right? So
Mhm.
information is very key. And so they should watch your channel because you are also providing some of these key
Thank you very
information. There's a
much.
platform to
Thank
get,
you.
I mean, insights if you want
Of
to,
course, of course.
pursue a further education here in Germany, right? And NS here is
Yeah,
bringing more and more and more and more and more insightful, I
definitely,
mean,
definitely. I mean, they should
programs. And,
subscribe. They should like,
exactly.
comment.
Yeah,
That will be the motivation to reach a higher audience and make an
exactly.
impact that matters.
Yes,
So it's very
yes,
key.
yes. So,
Okay, so yeah, okay. So on this note, all I have to say is thank you very much for sharing your experience and the insight with us. It's been really, really inspiring to hear about your dedication and hard work. And I mean, you've put into achieving all these. I mean, having a master's and now doing a PhD. It's not a small feat. Some of us, I mean, I can't even think of doing a PhD. So I think it's a really great thing. And I hope our viewers have found this conversation very motivating as I have. And thank you very much, Michael. It's really, really appreciated. Um, um, I mean, when I reach out to you, you happily, volunteer that you want to help someone out there. You want to touch a life, as just like the way I am also concerned about helping someone out there. I mean, it's good to give some sort of information to someone who is like looking for this kind of information, because it's not easy to find people like you to give this kind of insight. So all I say is that thank you very much, and if they have any question, they should drop it in the comment section. I'll be able to get back to this senior man if there's anything I need to clarify with him. If I'll be able to answer, then I'll give you all the answers you guys need. So on this note, guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe on this channel, and then hit the notification bell so that in case we drop anything, you'll be notified, because there's a lot of content coming your way in terms of finance related topics, in terms of corporate Germany, corporate UK, in terms of applying for schools abroad. So we're going to talk about US, Germany, Canada. There are so many people who have volunteered to, I mean, share their experience and make an impact that matters, which is really amazing and wonderful to hear. So on this note, I say thank you very much, our champion Presido. Thank you so much. And then to all viewers, take care, everyone. And thanks for watching this to the end. I really appreciate the support. And I will say we will talk again. When I'm in Deutschland, I think I'll hit you up. So on this note, I'll just say, Danke schon, einen guten Tag.
your point, yes.
You are the German expert. Yeah, and then I'll say Auf Wiedersehen, and until we meet again, bis zum nächsten Mal. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day, Mr. President, and thank you for, I mean, honoring our invitation. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ernesto. Thank you very much for having me, and keep the good works. And yeah, we'll link up. Surely, when once you're in Germany, just get in touch.
Yeah,
And I mean, in
yeah,
Hamburg,
yeah.
we just have to link
It'll be
up, and
nice.
then
It'll be
I mean,
nice.
yeah,
It'll be nice. Yeah.
we'll have some.
Okay, then have a nice afternoon, and we'll catch you some other time. Thank you very much. Okay, then choose.
Use.
Bye. Choose.
Bye.
Bye.